The last thing we'll add to our game will be some kind of object or character that asks the player a question and requires the player to type in their answer. So that's my level end object. I'm going to go move that down here. I'm going to have it blocked off by someone that wants to ask you a riddle. Let's use this guy. So he's going to block you off from getting to that object, and he's going to require you to answer a riddle. And this could be any kind of question. So let's add a script to this object. Now we're going to make this immovable, and we're going to give it a tag. So we'll go to events, and we want when created, and then we'll use our sensing block add tag name on myself, and this tag name will be riddle. And then from physics down the very bottom we want set immovable to true, so that way it doesn't get pushed around. Good. Let's close that and save that. Call this riddle object. Now the logic for this we'll put on the player. So let's edit the player script, and we'll go down to our when I am touched get toucher block, which is getting quite big now because there are all these different conditions it's checking for. That I touch an obstacle, or you'll win, or collectible, or speed boost, or teleporter. We'll duplicate our teleporter checker, and this one will check if we've touched riddle. If toucher has tag riddle, we don't want to be positioning it, so we'll get rid of those blocks. What do we want to do when we go and touch the riddle object? First we want to know whether or not the player is already answering a riddle. So we'll check if the riddle has started or not. So we'll go to control flow and use an if block for this, and we'll keep track of whether or not the riddle has started with a true false variable, a new one that we'll make. So we'll go to variables and we'll create this variable. This will be called riddle started, and it will be true or false. Okay, now we want to know if riddle started equals false, so if it hasn't started yet. So we've got an equals block from operators right there, drag that into the if block, and then from variables we want true false riddle started, and connect that into that equals block. If true false riddle started equals, and then we want a false in here, which is from operators underneath true, so we'll grab that true block and change it to false. So if the riddle hasn't started, then we will start the riddle. First we'll set riddle started to true, which is from variables. Set true false riddle started to true. We can just duplicate that false block, change it to true. And then what we want to do is ask the player a question. So we'll prompt them with a question. The block for this is from operators. Now depending on the type of question you want to ask, or the type of riddle you want to ask, you're either going to have an answer that's a number or an answer that's text. So let's say your question is, what is 1 plus 2? The answer is going to be a number, in which case you want to use this block from operators under the number subheading, prompt for number with message. So that's if you've got a number question. Now if you've got a text question, you go to operators, and under text you want a similar block, prompt for text with message. Now this example here I'm going to use a number, but if you wanted to use a text riddle, this would be the block you would use. Okay, so I'm going to ask, what is the meaning of life? So prompt for number with message, and let's type in, what is the meaning of life? Now this block will bring up this question, and then whatever answer the player types in will be saved. So let's save this as a variable. We need to go to variables, and we'll store their answer as a variable. So we'll go create variable, and we'll call this riddle answer, and mine's a number, but remember if you were doing text you'd change that to text. So set number riddle answer to, this will happen after the riddle has started, and then our prompt block will connect into there. So let's test this now before we add anything else. And when I walk up to him, I touch him, he asks, what is the meaning of life? And I could type in anything in here and nothing will happen. And then I go try to talk to him again and he doesn't pop it up. So we've got something working. What we need to do now is do something with this answer that we've stored. So we're asking them what the meaning of life is, or whatever your riddle is. Now we want to check if they've typed in the right answer. For this, we need another if block from control flow. Grab if do, connect it under there, and we want to check if their answer is correct. So we need an equals block from operators. And we want to check riddle answer, so we'll go to variables and grab number riddle answer. For you that might be text. If number riddle answer equals, and then here is where we're going to put our correct answer, what we know to be the correct answer. In my case that's 42, the meaning of life equals 42. So we'll put the number 42 in there. So this is going to check if they got it right. If they did, we're going to destroy the riddle object. So we'll say destroy toucher. So the destroy block is from control flow. And then we want to replace myself with instance toucher. Destroy instance toucher. Let's test that out now. Now if I type in the correct answer, 42, he gets destroyed and I can go through and I can win the game. That's good, but wait a second. If we play that again and type in the wrong answer, what happens? Let's say I type in hello. Wrong answer. Doesn't let me through. What we need to do in the case of typing in the wrong answer, we need to reset riddle started. And we need to probably tell them try again. So let's close that and add that in. So if they didn't get it right, we need to change this if to an if else. So drag that else into there. So if it wasn't 42, what are we going to do? Let's print a message up to them. So if we go to control flow and grab down the bottom, print an alert box. Let's say, sorry, try again soon. And then after a few seconds, we'll set riddle started back to false so they can go and ask their question again. So we need a time delay block from control flow after 100 milliseconds have passed. Let's change that. Let's make them wait 3 seconds. After 3000 milliseconds have passed, we're going to set riddle started to false. So we can just duplicate that block there. Set riddle started to false, which will let them then go and do this whole thing again. So that's how that should work. Let's play that. We'll go and ask them a question. What is the meaning of life? 41. Sorry, try again soon. Okay, I will try again. What is the meaning of life? How about 42? And that works. Good job. In the last step, we'll talk about publishing your game.